if you want to navigate to Ashllxyy's channel, he's literally in chat right there. Ashllxyy with an X, 2 L's, and 2 Y's in his name, _RL. Give him a click, give him a follow. He's got lots of clips and VODs on his stream of him playing with face cam, so you can see exactly how he does what he does without having to rely on my terrible explanations, but I'm doing my best. So that is how he does it, and you're going to be amazed at the level of play he's able to play with, despite literally playing Rocket League with one hand. So let's get into it. Ashllxyy in the red, ApparentlyJack in the blue. And also, it's pretty cool to see these two match up, because I found out about Ashllxyy, and I know a lot of other people found out about Ashllxyy through ApparentlyJack tweeting him out. ApparentlyJack found out about Ashllxyy's ability and his skill level through many times of playing against him, and felt the need to tweet about him, and I would too, to be honest, because it truly is something special. Oh, what a shot! Well, Jack with no boost really ripped that one, top right corner. That really couldn't have been struck any cleaner. And Ashllxyy will try to now get a play started in the back corner. That goes for an air dribble. Now this has to be played very carefully, because it's a really long distance air dribble there. He's decided not to use all of his boost in the setup, which is smart. And he does retreat back in time to not only save the shot, but again dribble, and now sets up for an air dribble a bit closer to Jack's goal. But the ball's kicked off the back wall a bit too much, and Jack will score on the breakaway once again. And it's 2-0 in Urban. Jack capitalizing on Ashllxyy's heavy touch off the wall there. Chibi, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that V literally or not, but thanks for the prime sub either way. Welcome to the channel, buddy. Strong kickoff there from Jack, and he's up by 3. Yeah, I say this every time I cast Ashllxyy's games, and I'll say it again. You know, it is awesome to see Ashllxyy putting himself out there, streaming with a face cam, and just being so wholesome and so open with how he does things, because I think this is going to be truly inspirational to so many people all over the world who watch and to see him doing what he does best. Because I know that it's got to be very hard growing up and being either disadvantaged or not able to participate in things like sports to the same level, just because you have either a disability or an injury preventing you from taking part or competing at the highest level. And I'm sure there's lots of kids watching what Ashllxyy can do, not necessarily this video or this stream. I'm sure lots of people are going to find out about Ashllxyy, watch him, and be inspired to give it a go, because what he's able to do is, I've said this before, I'll say it again, this is probably the most impressive thing I've ever seen in gaming, to be able to do this. To be able to play Rocket League, one of the most mechanically intensive games, and to have really no discernible difference between what you're doing and professional level play. That's amazing to see. Flip reset from Ashllxyy. Not all in though. Look at that recovery. That's what makes that play viable. It's a recovery that Ashllxyy attaches to the end of it. But now Jack has the boost steal. I think Ashllxyy's doing okay for boost. He is indeed. And although he's had to use most of what he had to just stay with Jack on that play, see that the boost management is keeping Ashllxyy in these positions. The recoveries are keeping him relevant, and he dodges Jack's bump and ties the game, surely. There it is, straight down the middle. Ashllxyy equalizes, and that's Jack now getting punished for overextending. Now, I said this earlier in the stream as well, but I'll repeat just because I know it was a while ago. These guys have played a whole lot more times in ranked than the 3 games I'm going to show you. And there are a lot more games on the ballchasing.com database between these two. But I've just picked 3 games that look like a good representation of how the matchup tends to go. I've not cherry-picked 3 games that have gone far more in one player's favor than the total, what's the word I'm looking for? The total pool of games looks. So this should be a good representation, unless Ashllxyy or Jack wants to tell us in chat. Actually, Johnny's talking nonsense here. These games are terrible representation. Another huge kickoff from Jack. He's done this a couple of times this game, where he just corrects his kickoff, switches up his style, and goes really hard on that right-hand side of the ball. And I think I've said this as well, but Jack is probably the player at the highest level who adapts his kickoff and switches it up stylistically and also just positionally more than any other player. That doesn't necessarily mean he's got the best kickoff, but he's definitely, I'd say, the hardest player to read on kickoff out of all the best players. I'll reiterate, Jack as well, also doing a lot of streaming on his channel these days, a lot of YouTube videos as well, so be sure to give him plenty of love on his own channel. Lots of 1v1 commentaries. I think both Ashllxyy and Jack do live commentary on their own 1v1 gameplay and their own Rocket League gameplay on the Twitch channels. And Ashllxyy, have you been uploading on YouTube these days? Not sure if you have. I'm going to need to go and find out about that myself, to be honest. Flip reset from Ashllxyy. Just a bit too much on the back end of the ball there. It made the flick afterwards very difficult to connect. So with just less than a minute to go, Ashllxyy's trailing by 2 now. Why did ApparentlyJack stop uploading? Oh, did he? Maybe he just got a bit busy with professional Rocket League. It is pretty intensive. Good control by Ashllxyy. Jack was trying to bait him into a low 50-50 battle there. Didn't want to jump at him. So Ashllxyy counters that by just going high at the near post with a flick. Now a tough flip reset from Ashllxyy, but he mind games the finish, and what an equalizer that is. Again, getting the better of Jack from close range. You need to start TBH, feel awkward just talking to yourself. Well, one thing you can do, and one thing I always recommend to players who have to put in a ton of time actually playing Rocket League, either with their team or just improving by themselves in ranked, is just get an editor. Maybe you've got a viewer watching who wants to give editing a go. Just get them to put together clips of your stream into YouTube videos. I think that for me is probably the best thing you can do as a pro player. Oh, what a 50-50. Ashllxyy goes straight through Jack there. Absolute slugfest here. Extremely even matchup. Ashllxyy wins a kickoff, and it's a big win as well. Very good bounce for him, but Jack's turned around early. No back down on that play. Jack's been backing off on pretty much every defensive play for the past minute, so instead goes for the early challenge here. Oh, and he's just countered him with a low 50-50 of his own. Perfect revenge for Jack. That's how Ashllxyy scored his last goal. And now Jack's done it right back to 1-goal lead. And a strong kickoff for Jack should have this one in the bag. This game looks to be over. You can never count out Ashllxyy. He got a 0-second goal against Khaled in the match that I casted yesterday, but he doesn't get one here. It is actually Jack who scores the 0-second goal, makes it 9-7. A very close game between these two. The first of 3 that we're going to watch. Jack just a bit more clutch at the end of the game there. The real standout moment at the end of the game for me was that early challenge by Jack. He realized that, sitting back on the goal line for the previous 2 plays that Ashllxyy made, that wasn't working. Ashllxyy was slow playing him. He slow played him in the near post with a flick, and then he also slow played him with an air dribble with a flip reset in the middle of it. So good mix up by Jack, instead going for the early challenge at the end of the game. But now here come the aerial threats from Ashllxyy. Another big dunk from him. He's in the lead by 1, Ashllxyy in the orange in this game, and Jack in the blue. Gable RL, thanks to the Prime sub, and also tier 1 from Morons on a Couch. I like to think that is like a group account, a group of friends who like to watch Twitch together. They made a group account called Morons on a Couch, and you've decided to sub, so welcome to the channel, guys. Ashllxyy, ceiling shot. It's going to be very tough for Jack to save, but he does save it, and it's a great save as well. Wow, what a bounce. And he'll walk that one in. So Ashllxyy decided to shoot low. Doesn't get the ball past Jack. Yeah, it's mainly, I think, been Jack's slight changes of play and defense that have swung this matchup. Clearly, Ashllxyy's offense is terrifying to go up against. I mean, you see this kind of thing coming at you, you're thinking, what is going on there? He's probably got a flip. He's probably going to put a shot on target. Very tough to go up against, but Jack's defense is very adaptable. He doesn't just have one preferred strategy. You know, throughout Rocket League 1's history, there have been players who prefer to shadow. There have been players who prefer to challenge facing the ball. There have been players who don't like to really defend at all. They just like to charge, ball chase, and hope for the best. And I don't think Jack really fits any of those descriptions. I don't think any of the very best Rocket League players in 1s these days fit those descriptions. It's very much about mixing up the game these days, as Jack shows off some very effective shadowing defense there. He's going to try it again, but now Ashllxyy switching it up. Jack stays low enough on his 50-50 so as not to let the ball go under him. Very smart interception there by Ashllxyy, but I think he's overextended here. Jack's away and scoring a third goal for himself as Ashllxyy starts to get a bit frustrated in the midfield. But before that, you saw a very smart technique by Ashllxyy, something that players who are trying to rank up towards GC will want to add into their game, and that's where you're retreating back. There's a dribbler on the opposing team. It can be 1v1, it can be 2s or 3s, it can be any game mode, and you want to interfere with the game without giving them a 50-50 to work with, because as I'm sure a lot of you are aware, challenging from behind or challenging from the side when you dodge into the ball can often be risky, because you might just make the situation worse. You might just give your opponent some momentum to work with. So actually just doing a little jump, hitting the ball into the wall, and then turning around and playing it again. It's a pretty smart idea. Oh dear, Jack went for the pre-flip. Save on that one, didn't make contact. Ashllxyy's accidental mind game goes past him. It's always a risk when you run up against Ashllxyy. You don't know if he's hitting it or not. You're like, well, he's definitely got a reset. You can be almost positive about that. He's got a flip available, but very close to the ball car control. Makes it hard to know if he's getting a glancing blow or no touch at all. Can you call that one a fake? I don't know if it was an intentional fake, but it did fake out Jack. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, always you'll see disruption tactics on the retreat in high-level 1v1. It's exactly what you want to be doing in 2v2 as well. You want to be disrupting the opponents. If the opponents have ball control and you're rotating back, your teammate's got the net covered, your teammate's got the shots covered, you want to influence the play. You want to try and pressure the ball. That's a great save by Ashllxyy there. And back corner boost control is his. You'll notice there he's left ball cam on because it actually gave him view of Jack while he was dribbling. And that wasn't director camera or anything, that was just Ashllxyy's choice to use ball cam there. Sometimes it does give you a better look at the opponent than just a fixed cam would, because fixed cam obviously looks straight forward. If you're carrying the ball on the left side of your car and your opponent's to your left, ball cam will actually give you a better look at them. Ashllxyy's really using the wave dash kickoff well in this game. But there's another switch up in defense from Jack. He's making it very hard for Ashllxyy to read him, and he's tripped him. Not sure if it was plan A, but he'll take it. It's so difficult to break down Jack's defense. His shadowing defense has been great this game, and he's mixed in enough early challenges that Ashllxyy doesn't really know what he's doing at any given time. But he's going to give Ashllxyy some space here. Ashllxyy had the option of slowing down that play, going to the right hand side of the field. Oh, has he missed this? He has, and Jack trips him up on the landing as well. So what was an open net has gone wide, and now a very early free jump by Jack. And he is going to make it 7-4. Just perfectly defended once again. Constantly changing up his defensive stance, whether it's pre-jumping, whether it's just trying to sneak up behind the ball and get a play going before Ashllxyy's expecting it, or whether it's just backing off and letting Ashllxyy come at him. Oh dear, is that another open net miss? It is. Ashllxyy, 2 open net misses. Definitely starting to lose consistency in this game, as Jack's defense has caused him to be under immense pressure. He knows that anything other than absolute perfection is probably not going to work in this matchup, and unfortunately it hasn't been absolute perfection at the tail end of this game. Could have been very close though, if it hadn't been for the open net misses from Ashllxyy. Happens to everybody. This is just a great example of how to defend in ones. And Ashllxyy's not even going to get the demo here. Jack shrugs off the bump, That might be a forfeit. Is it going to be a forfeit? Ashllxy's just probably typing something to Jack, as Jack misses an open net as well. I imagine that they're probably typing something to each other. Ashllxyy said, what do you guys think is getting typed right now? I think something along the lines of, "You hooligan, I'll get you next time." And then Jack saying something like, "I bet you won't. You're worse than when I played against your nan." Something in that kind of vein. I don't know if there's any video evidence of this match. Either one of them could have been streaming it. I know they both stream high level ones matches regularly, but yeah, probably some heated trash talk was exchanged there in English accents, of course. Anyway, let's get into game 3 here. We've got one more game between Ashllxyy and Jack. Let's see. Let's take a look at it. Again, it's Ashllxyy in the orange team and Jack in the blue. I have shown you these 3 games in chronological order. As usual, I'll always show replay casts in the order that they happened. Jack going to put that ball wide into the corner, even though he probably saw that it was hitting the crossbar. No reason not to try and go for the counter-attack immediately. Oh, that's very cheeky by Ashllxyy. Saw the boost was up, so he actually flipped upside down, jumped downwards to try and grab it. And then Jack with some kind of flip reset play. He's also denied. How did Johnny get recording in comms these games? Ashllxyy says it was all love talk. I'm sure it was. Pillow talk with Ashllxyy and Jack. Oh, open net misses are not going, or open net shots are not going well for Ashllxyy, but the recoveries are still pretty clean, so he's giving himself second chances at this. I'll make that 3 open net misses in the last 2 games, which, one other thing I wanted to say is I think all these 3 games were played in the same session, one after another. So Ashllxyy's probably still reeling just a little bit from those open net misses. See now, backflips away from the play. Oh, that's some great acceleration on that ball. Wow, Ashllxyy really goes very close to the ball before backflipping away from it and immediately gets back up into the air to send an air dribble on target. And Jack doesn't have any boost to work with, but he slowly gets going towards the sidewall. Not a lot of acceleration on the wave dash shot after the reset. Nothing that will cause Ashllxyy any problems. You can see they're actually not too confident in the side flip for the open net, and after how little success he's had with his open nets, I don't blame him. But now he's going to go for the blind shot in reverse. Jack's got that one covered. Ashllxyy driving over the boost that wasn't there just in case it spawns under him, but I think doing so has taken him out the game for too long. Jack scoops it into the open net, and Ashllxyy's probably looking at that thinking, I wish I could do that. Jack made that open net look really easy, actually. And there we go. Ashllxyy puts one in. And it was just a routine move off the kickoff there. Open net secured, and that's a pretty big deal. Oh, interesting. So I'm not sure if that was planned, but Ashllxyy didn't go for the usual timing on his flip on the approach there. He actually just flipped once and kind of landed in the ball at the end of the flip. I have to think that that was a mistake, maybe a controller issue, maybe a slight lag moment, because there's really not much to be gained from flipping like that. You know, he didn't get to the ball any faster than Jack did. It wasn't a speed flip or anything, from what I can see. Or was it a speed flip? Bit of an awkward position now for Jack, but he's going to make a grab at the corner boost, and Ashllxyy's just got enough speed to take him out of the game, and another open net for Ashllxyy. That's 2 in a row now. Controller DC'd. Yeah, it did look a bit awkward. I figured it was something like that. Because it is, you know, kind of a viable play to just go for a fast kickoff and hit the ball dead center. It can work, but it's extremely unreliable. You know, depending on what the opponent goes for, they can get a big block on you. They can also just straight up win the kickoff and you're out the game. So yeah, it's definitely not something you see very often, the fast kickoff in 1v1 where you land on the ball square dead center. Also, the fact that you didn't land on the ball square dead center was a bit of a clue. Well, that's definitely a speed flip there though. Plenty of those in this matchup. No reset for Jack yet, and Ashllxyy sees that, makes a dash for the challenge. And I think he's done it again. Ashllxyy 3 open nets in a row, look at him go. That's a really good challenge, though. And if you are going to wait that long to get your reset on an air dribble, you're leaving yourself open to be challenged. Jack just didn't get it soon enough to be a threat. Timed out his dodge after jumping off the wall, didn't get the reset. There is nothing he could do there except land on the ball. There's not really a lot of movement. Ashllxyy backs off, respecting the pinch shot. You always have to these days. Jack wanted the demo. Ashllxyy saw him coming in, and he slots in a 4th open net in a row. Look at him go. Very nice play though by Ashllxyy. Saw Jack coming in for the drive-by. That was sort of a fake challenge in a way by Jack. It's not the traditional fake challenge where you drive up and then drive away. But you're pretending that you're going to play for the ball, and instead you just drive straight into the opponent's car, ignore the ball completely. It's a sort of challenge you'll very often see in the very back corner of the field. When you're attacking the opponent's back corner and they've got the ball there, you don't want to dodge into the ball because most of the bounces are going to go the way of the defender. So driving by for a demo, much more safe strategy, even though it didn't work there. If you get a hard red, you're in trouble. Ashllxyy walks in, yet another open net. This is brilliant news for Ashllxyy's open net accuracy. That stat was not looking pretty after the last game, but now you wouldn't even know. It's swung so far back the other way. Will Jack try and use space here? No, so it's going to be an air dribble bump then. Whenever Jack just dribbles straight at somebody, you know it's going to be an air dribble. Like, he'll try and get some kind of angle working. If it's going to be a flick, if it's going to be a dribble. But look at this. Ashllxyy just punishing Jack again and again. And I think Jack tried to up the aggression in this game. The previous game we saw was a very good defensive display from Jack, but he didn't get to dictate the flow of the game very often. He was the one reacting a lot of the time, and he wanted, I think, to just try and test Ashllxyy's ability to handle a bit more ball pressure. And as it turns out, Ashllxyy's vision is fantastic. He's seen a lot of these challenges coming and he's outplayed them. He's not just avoided the worst possible outcome, but he's turned a lot of these challenges from Jack into goals for himself. So very well done keeping an eye on what Jack is doing at all times. Also, just the speed of his reaction timing is definitely up there, so no problems for Ashllxyy reacting to these early challenges when he can see them coming. 5-7, Jack unable to shoot that one on target. Ashllxyy was right there with him. And this is great time wasting now by Ashllxyy, playing for the ceiling shot and the pinch as well. 8-5 just to make sure. And that is going to be game. So Jack's had enough there. And don't blame him. I think that's probably game over. But good finish there by Ashllxyy. Went for the air dribble off the wall. It's actually worth noting. We'll watch it one more time. So if Ashllxyy sees Jack defending the net here, or if he hears Jack driving away from the play, what you'll do here with 17 seconds, 15 seconds left in the game is he'll slowly air dribble the ball towards Jack's net. Maybe go for a reset if the play is lining up nicely. If it's not, he'll just take a safe 50-50 on the landing, and that wastes a lot of time off the clock. So it's a good strategy to play for the wall if you've got good air dribble recoveries, but you'll notice that he actually heard Jack coming towards him here. So he just goes for the immediate play towards the ceiling, just quickly towards the ceiling. Jack was coming in, I think for a demo maybe. Yeah, they tried to go kind of a pinch, kind of a bump. Most likely trying to play the ball, actually, now that I've seen Jack's POV, he's trying to play the ball. And it's good play by both players, really, because with 13 seconds left and Ashllxyy on the ball, there is no other way for Jack to win other than trying to take the shorter route to the ball there. Ashllxyy's, driving along the ground, driving up the wall. Jack takes a hypotenuse. He's clearly been studying his trigonometry at school. He knows that it's a lot faster to just go on that long side of the triangle instead of the two shorter sides combined. It didn't work out though, so Ashllxyy gets a win. So, like I said earlier, Jack winning 2 of these games, Ashllxyy winning 1. They've played against each other a whole lot more than this. There's a lot of other replays between them on ballchasing.com, but just at a glance, this seemed like a pretty good representation of how the matchup goes. Looks like Jack wins the majority of them, but Ashllxyy is definitely very competitive in the matchup and very impressive as well. Right now, Jack's number 5 in the leaderboard. and I think Ashllxy's something like 20 or 30. Not looked exactly today. Well, it looks like maybe you lost a few games. Ashllxyy, what happened, mate? I was sure you were up here. Did I scroll past you? Oh no. Have I just exposed Ashllxy's losing streak? I didn't mean to. I think I looked yesterday, you were like 25. What happened? What happened? Oh, he's 8th. Oh, okay. Whew. Okay, that's a great outcome. See, I didn't know. I probably should have checked that before going for the big old rank expose. 8th, well done. It's not a losing streak, it's a winning streak. So these really are two of the absolute best in Europe right now. I mean, two of the best in the world, obviously. So well played, Ashllxyy and Jack. Who is this Wiz guy? Well, Wiz, he's a new player to the very high level NA scene. He's currently rank 1 NA in 1v1. And I'm going to be casting a couple of his games against ApparentlyJack next.